Armada Kickoff is brought to you by Community First Credit Union, Winn-Dixie, Baptist Health, Bowden Eye and Associates, Brumos Automotive, and Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
We welcome you into Armada Kickoff as we get closer and closer to opening day. On the show today, we'll look back at the top moments of the preseason so far, and we'll hear from General Manager Dario Sala on what he wants to see accomplished between now and opening day.
We'll also preview this weekend's preseason friendly for the Armada, who travel down to Fort Lauderdale to face the Strikers, and we have the latest from around the NASL, and also some perspective from Armada goalkeeper David Sierra. And
we'll look forward to that, but first, it's the home stretch of the preseason. The Armada are 2-2 on the preseason, but those matches have largely been spread out. This past weekend, they didn't have a match at all, but starting Saturday, Jacksonville will play 3 matches in the span of 8 days as they gear up for their inaugural season in the NASL. More on those upcoming matches in a moment. But let's take this time to count down the top 8 moments of the preseason so far. Why 8? Well, 1 for each of the legs of the Kraken, of course. Here we go.
At number 8, it's the fans who traveled up, showing their support for the Armada in Charleston. They were there in, well, good support. Wasn't much else going on in Charleston. As far as the plays, number 7, Lucas Trejo makes it a 3-1 lead at halftime, converting on the PK. That would be the final of the opening match, the inaugural match against Philadelphia. Number 6, the play in goal of David Sierra against Charleston here in Jacksonville. He was terrific. If not for his play, it might have been a much more lopsided performance. Number 5, the goal against Fort Lauderdale, Shawn Nicklaw taking advantage. Made the play in the box, scored, and then celebrated the 1-0 victory for the Armada. At number 4, hey, you got to give it to the Kraken. How about the Kraken being unfurled against Fort Lauderdale? That's a great moment. It's going to be a big part of what's happening going forward for the Armada. At number 3, the first goal ever scored in Armada history, and here it is. Fabricio Ortiz gets it done. Number 2, this would help the celebration. Look at the moves by Keita, who finds the back of the net against Philly. We expect more from Keita as the season goes on. And number 1, well, you've got to give it to the fans. The supporters section 904 has just been terrific all preseason long, and we expect to see more of that as the season approaches.
The man who has built this roster is Dario Sala. Cole spent some time with the Armada GM and got his thoughts on what the Armada has accomplished so far.
We're really happy with the progress of the team, how they make sense together, and we try different formation with different names. We know what we're getting, and where we want to aim is effort for to be 100% each player, and knowing the role and responsibility in each system that we're going to be playing. So you're going to be in the next 2 weeks a lot of tactical work, especially knowledge of their position, and when they switch position, how to do those movements and learn who is going to be doing the coverage of those players.
You're still trying to, I think, find how all the pieces fit together in the right way. Particularly, how does Marcos Flores work with Keita and Jamal Johnson and Pascal, and trying to get those guys who, can all really go forward. How do they all fit together?
Yes, we worked this week and last week as well, having Marcos associated with Castrillon. I think it's one of the circuit that we gotta explore all the time. Basically because the characteristic of the player, they like to have a short game, quick passes, good feet, and they have a good vision of what's going on in the other side of the field while they keep the ball and entertain the defense. So I'm more concerned about having those guys associated and then with the forwards.
All right, last thought then, as you look forward to April 4th and the season opener, what are you looking for between now and then?
I think we need to see the team that we saw against Philadelphia Union. We need to follow that path. The high pressure, the possession. It was painful to see sometimes. It was painful for me to be around the field and see how many saves that our keepers have to do, but it was something that we need to do it. So I'm happy that we did. We passed that. Hopefully on Friday we see a different style.
There's a few matches left to see the Armada in action before the season opener. On Saturday, the Armada travels down to Fort Lauderdale, where they will look to sweep the Strikers in the preseason. On March 28th, the boys in blue return to play the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and on April 4th, the Armada is looking to set an NASL record at Everbank Field for their opener against FC Edmonton.
That matchup Saturday night in Fort Lauderdale will be a good test. The Armada beat the Strikers 1-0 earlier this month. Shawn Nicklaw scoring the goal for Jacksonville. Fort Lauderdale will be hungry for a better result. This is just the second time the Armada will have played a road game this preseason. The first one resulted in a loss in Charleston. Our most recent man of the match, David Sierra, has traveled a long way to get to Jacksonville. Born in Madrid, Spain, Sierra took part in the Real Madrid Academy, where he spent several years developing his skills before crossing over the Atlantic. Krissty Andaur tells us more.
At the age of 14, David Sierra was introduced to the Real Madrid Academy. It was there that his soccer career really kicked off.
Experiencia yo creo que siempre aportan en lo deportivo y en lo personal. Entonces, obviamente siempre cuando estás fuera creces de una u otra manera.
And he has definitely grown on and off the pitch here in Jacksonville and was honored to be named man of the match against the Battery.
Muy contento, lógicamente, pues todo lo que sea pues reconocimientos individuales a uno le gusta, ¿no? Siempre se busca más el reconocimiento colectivo, ¿no? Al equipo y demás, pero bueno, al final lo que te digo es un partido amistoso, no es tan importante, evidentemente quiero intentar ganar todos los juegos, pero bueno, al menos en lo personal uno se queda con eso, ¿no?
As Sierra and the team prepare to take on the Strikers again this preseason, a win would be ideal, but it's a lot more than just that.
Sí, evidentemente, sobre todo espero que valga el trabajo, ¿no? En estos momentos a lo mejor no son tan importantes ganar los partidos, como te digo, o los puntos, como que el trabajo se haga bien para cuando empiece la temporada, a principios del mes que viene, estar fuertes, ¿no? Eso es lo más importante, yo creo, priorizar el trabajo. Y evidentemente, pues si vamos allí y ganamos, también de cara al inicio de temporada es un equipo que está en nuestra competición y ganarle 2 partidos seguidos pues también nos daría más confianza.
As we inch closer to April the 4th, the anticipation is building for opening day. There are big plans that entire week. We'll have more details on that next week on the show. What we can tell you now is that on match day, the festivities will begin at noon with the Can Do Festival featuring canned craft beer, live music, and entertainment headlined by OAR, and the day culminates in the Armada hosting FC Edmonton at Everbank Field as Jacksonville tries to break the NASL modern-day attendance record. As club president Steve Livingstone told us, there's a little something for everyone on April 4th.
Yeah, it's like soccer check, beer check, music check. We check all the boxes, and we're offering a combo ticket for both events at $35, which we think is real, good value. 7 hours of concert, and then a good 2 hours of top-class soccer. So we think it's going to be a great event for the city of Jacksonville. Our goal is to set the record, which currently is 14,953 that was set by Ottawa last year. So we want to try and eclipse that. We came very close with our first match at Everbank Field, where we were just under 14,000. So we feel that we've got a good run at it, and combining with the concert and all the interest around the opening match, we want everyone in Jacksonville to come out and let's set a new record for Jacksonville.
All right, here are the details on the Can Do Festival. It'll be held at Metro Park, just across the street from Everbank Field. The event opens at noon. If you are an Armada season ticket owner, you'll get in for free. If not, you can purchase a ticket for both the festival and the opening day match for $35. Call 844-2-ARMADA or go online to armadafc.com.
Coming up, we'll visit Bob's Boot Room for a crash course on offsides.
And one NASL team goes to Central America and plays in front of a big crowd. Stick around. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead. If you can't get enough soccer, here's a great deal for you. Saturday, March 28th, you can catch 3 matches at Everbank Field and the regular season opener on April the 4th. JU takes on Flagler. FC Edmonton takes on the Carolina Railhawks in the main event on the 28th. The Armada against the Tampa Bay Rowdies for the first time ever. And you'll get the opening day match as well from as little as $25 per ticket. Call 844-2-ARMADA or go online to armadafc.com. Speaking of the Rowdies, let's spend a minute on them here. Tampa Bay is one of the heritage clubs in the NASL. The Rowdies first took the field in the NASL in 1975 and played in the Bay Area until 1993. In 2012, the Rowdies won the NASL championship, but this past year they struggled, finishing 7th in the spring, 8th in the fall. Tampa plays their home games at Al Lang Stadium, a former minor league baseball park. Sound familiar? This year the Rowdies will be led by a new manager who's very familiar with the Tampa Bay area. Thomas Ranjan was the manager of the Tampa Bay Mutiny when that city had an MLS squad. in their inaugural year 1996. The Rowdies just returned from Portugal, where they trained and played against some of the top clubs in that country. The Armada will see Tampa Bay a week from Saturday at Everbank Field in the preseason finale.
Looking around the North American Soccer League this past week, last Friday, Tampa Bay Rowdies took on FC Montreal. This is the Montreal Impact's #2 team. Macon Santos scoring a goal in a closed-door scrimmage in a 1-1 draw. On Saturday, Charleston Battery took a 3-2 victory over the Carolina Railhawks, Charleston's third preseason victory against an NASL side. Of course, the other two came against the Armada. Sunday, the Atlanta Silverbacks topped the Charlotte Independence, expansion team of the USL. Jonathan Okafor with a goal and assist in that ball game for the Silverbacks.
The New York Cosmos did a little traveling this past week, playing a friendly in El Salvador against CD Foz in front of over 28,000. What a crowd. The Cosmos lost the match 1-0. Dustin Correa of CD Foz scored the only goal of the match. Now let's check in with Bob Veal and Krissty Andaur in Bob's Boot Room, presented by Nike.
Thank you, Cole. Bob, this week let's discuss something that's seen in a lot of soccer matches, but may be confusing for some, the offside.
Yeah, let's start with where the officials are on the field, because this is all important for people to understand what they are responsible for. We have an assistant referee on this sideline and an assistant referee on this sideline. This one is responsible for this part of the field. This assistant referee is responsible for that part of the field. And then the referee runs a diagonal. He runs from that corner to this corner, so he looks after this side of the field and this bit here. So, having explained what their positions are and what they are responsible for, let's get to the offside. So, the assistant referee is the one that blows for an offside, or he may not move his flag at all and the referee can blow for offside if he sees it and the assistant doesn't. So, let's explain very vaguely how this works.
Give us the easiest example
because
possible.
everybody gets incensed about it. So, this is the AR here. His position when you're attacking, is in line with the rearmost defender, whether that be defender this side, in the middle, or whatever. So say it's in line with the rearmost defender here, or let's just do that one more. The AR moves up here, and he's in line with this defender here. So the ball's played from here. It's kicked. The most forward guy is over here. So before it's kicked, he's technically offside, but he's not interfering with play. He's way out of play. Because if this guy plays the ball through here, and this guy collects it there,
he's not offside.
He's not offside, because when the ball was kicked, he is behind the defending line. He's not nearer his goal line than the ball.
If he were to be here when he was receiving the ball.
Correct, and that's what it goes. Now, it doesn't matter if he passes it through here, he runs in and scores. This guy has nothing to do with play. So he is not interfering, and that's a referee's call. Is he affecting play?
If
and
so.
if he's not offside. If he is, then he's in an offside position. So we quite often get, so the linesman, he stays in, now he can't be watching the rear defender as well as watching this guy kick the ball. So what does he do? He listens. He watches the rear defender and he listens to when the ball is thud, and he'll hear it. And as soon as it's kicked, he looks down his line. Where is this player at the time that the ball is kicked? If he's his goal side of the defender, he's good. If he is nearer the goal than the defender, then he's offside.
Thanks, Bob. That was
Pleasure.
great. Hopefully that's a little more simpler for you all at home to understand. Cole?
Thanks, guys. Straight ahead, we'll look at Andy Kidd's vacation photos as we convene the Analyst Roundtable. More Armada Kickoff is straight ahead.
The Armada's social rewards program is a great way to stay connected with the team via social media. Just go online at armadasocialrewards.com, create an account, and start earning free gifts like jerseys, scarves, and even tickets to future matches. All you have to do is mention the Armada using your social media, so like, tweet, tag, and earn prizes. It's simple, right? Each week we pick a random winner, and this week's winner is Megan Carlin. Congratulations! You've won 2 tickets to the Can Do Festival and the opener against FC Edmonton. Like that's not enough. Thanks again for keeping up with the Armada via social media. And now let's head over to Cole and the Roundtable.
All right, thank you, Krissty. Time now for our Analyst Roundtable, joined here by Andy Kidd and David Hayes. I want to start, though, with Andy Barcelona here, Andy Spain, Andy La Liga. Let's take a look at some photos here. Oh, man. Here's Andy with a group at the Barcelona match. This is when Messi scored a hat trick?
Hat trick. We got to see Messi score a hat trick. We got to see, when we went to the Real Madrid game in the Champions League, we got to see Ronaldo get a brace. Saw 18 goals in 3 games. We saw 2 La Liga and 1 Champions League. Talk about once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was unbelievable.
You said that the fan experience there, too, the whole setting was really something.
Oh, my gosh. We talk about an electric fan base when we go to the Armada games. And, you know, electric doesn't do it justice when you go there and you got 105,000 fans screaming and singing the entire game. I don't think they stopped singing the entire Champions League game.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Armada. What have we learned in the first couple of months of the Armada preseason? What does that mean for the next 3 weeks in the preseason?
I think we've learned a lot. I mean, I think that we've learned that we're going to play out of the back. We're going to try. Leaves us susceptible to the counter. In the middle of the field, we're good at possessing the ball, but I think we're still missing that final third appearance. I think we need to do a better job at solidifying the lineup and then working on our attacking third.
Yeah, I think, you know, what I've learned is that, you know, we're not just going to be an expansion team that takes our lumps. You know, we're not going to be an expansion team that only gets a handful of wins, that stereotypical expansion team that you hear about in other leagues. We've come right out and we're competitive in every game, but David is right on. We've got to solidify the final third. You know, I think in the last 3 games we've scored 1 goal. Doesn't mean we're not getting chances, which is good. I'd be more concerned if we weren't getting chances, but you know, we need to start seeing our forwards put the ball in the back of the net a little bit in these last couple of weeks. You know, I think Kate is the only forward that's really scored a goal in a true scrimmage, just true friendly. So that's what I'd like to see in the next 2 weeks, is starting to see our forwards put in the back of the net.
You mentioned you want to solidify that starting 11. An interesting thing that Dario Sala told me this week was that there may not be one starting 11. If that's the case, how does that impact things?
Well, I mean, it all goes back to trying to figure out a formation we're going to play and trying to get to a point where there takes a bit of cohesiveness and a bit of learning when you play together. And I think that while there might be multiple players that play multiple positions and can do that, we need to start putting them in a specific position now to where they can learn it and then maybe adjust after that.
Andy, what's the deepest position on this team right now?
If you'd asked me 2-3 weeks ago, I think I would have said forward, just because we had Flores and Johnson and Keita and Pascal. You know, but seeing David Sierra play last week and being the man of the match, I think we've got a really solid goalkeeping core, that group there, and you know, that's a luxury for our coaches. You know, just like Galletter's, you know, went down, you had David that could come right in. I like our back 4 as well. I think we've got some guys that can come in with Toby and Nerden that can come in and keep the level of play at the high level.
What should we look for Saturday against Fort Lauderdale?
You know, I'm with David. I do think we do need to have some semblance of a starting lineup, starting to solidify that, because there are relationships on the field, and you start to build chemistry. You know, outside back and the winger, and, you know, and the center back and that central defensive player. You know, you need to start having those relationships and seeing who works well together, so those guys can start counting on each other.
David, this may be the most important question of the roundtable. Where should Andy go next?
Oh man, I don't even know. I mean, it just seems like you can't match that.
Send him to Manchester,
yeah,
or
somewhere.
Maybe a Chelsea,
Italy,
White Hart Lane. Italy, you want to go to Serie A? I mean, we could send him down to South America. All right, Traveling Andy.
Yes,
Traveling Andy, that's key. Andy Kidd, David Hayes, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
All right, straight ahead, you'll get to know defender Shawn Nicklaw a little better. You won't want to miss this as Armada Kickoff continues.
Game season tickets are still on sale. You've got interest-free, low monthly payment plans. You also get invitations to special events. And if you become a 3-year season ticket owner, you get a personalized brick at the stadium. Tickets start at just $10 a match. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com.
And here's a great way to get part of the season, the Kraken packs. Choose one of 2 8-game packs. Get it? 8 arms on the Kraken, 8 games. $88. See what we did there?
See what you did there.
So many 8s. Both packs include some highly sought-after matches like the season opener on April 4th, the New York Cosmos visit to Jacksonville, and the regular season finale against Fort Lauderdale that could be important for playoff standings. Call 844-2-ARMADA or online at armadafc.com. As always, we remind you to catch us on radio every Friday at 3 on Sports Radio 930, the Armada Soccer Show. You can also get the Armada Monday podcast on armadafc.com. And don't forget the next game broadcast, March the 28th on Sports Radio 930. But as we leave you here, we wanted to show you something you can find on armadafc.com.
Yep, it's what we call the rapid fire. We shoot a number of odd questions and sometimes personal questions at the players on the team and see their responses to try to get to know them. So here's defender Shawn Nicklaw, and you can find more on armadafc.com. I'm Krissty Andaur.
And I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time on Armada Kickoff.
If I could be an animal, I'd be a sea turtle. Why? Just cruise around the ocean.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
I have a couple. What really grinds my gears is sliders going past the shorts.
If you went on The Voice, what's one song you would sing?
Ariana Grande, Break Free, featuring Zed. Stronger than I've been before. If I could be a superhero, Iron Man. Just because he wears a cool suit, flies around, he's rich.
What's your worst habit?
My worst habit? Leaving my radio on loud and turning the car off, and then getting back into the car and it blasts. Scares the bejesus out of me.
What's the toughest challenge you've ever faced?
This interview.
Okay, I'm done.